me is the Datsun Go. Some of you might have seen a few pictures of this here and there, but this is the first time that we are going to take a detailed look at this one. The Datsun Go is short, it's compact, and it's fuel efficient. It's positioned as a city car and it's meant to take you from point A to B in relative comfort and in the cheapest possible way. Now it's time for me to get in behind the wheel and see how she really drives. Eager to enter the compact segment of the Indian car market, which accounts for over 70%, Datsun will soon launch the Go to mark its entry into India. The Datsun Go is designed grounds up for the Indian market and is positioned as a city car, which is compact outside but spacious inside, with an engine which is fuel efficient yet powerful enough. Datsun Go is powered by a 1.2-litre petrol engine, in fact the same engine which does duty on the Nissan Micra and the Renault Pulse. But the engine has been remapped and tweaked to suit the requirements of this car, like better fuel efficiency and more low-end torque. In fact, the first feeling you have after you start driving this Go is that the engine is quite peppy and doesn't run out of juice till about 100-kilometer mark. After that, the power sort of tapers off, but nevertheless, it does the 100-kilometer sprint in about 13.3 seconds, which is quite good for a small car like this. While this engine is good enough for in-city running, but on the highway it hops to the 100-kilometer mark pretty quickly, but thereafter it soon runs out of breath and barely manages to go past the 120-kilometer mark. It's true that this is well past the legal speed limits on most highways, but then most cars in this segment will easily reach the 140-kilometer mark, and what the Datsun Go needs is a stronger top end for that occasional highway outing. The engine is nice and peppy, but what it can do with is a bit of insulation under the bonnet, because the moment you gun down the engine, you can hear the decibel levels go up. The Datsun Go rides on 13-inch wheels, and the Datsun engineers have worked hard on the suspension geometry to ensure that the ride is comfortable. And a ground clearance of 170 millimeters ensures that it is capable of going over the bumps and the speed breakers with ease. The moment you walk into this Datsun Go, one thing that becomes apparent is that this car has been built to a cost, which necessarily is not a bad thing, provided they do not cut short on the conveniences as well as the quality. And in this case, I feel that it falls short on both the counts. The quality of plastics inside the cabin is something that can certainly be improved. And in terms of conveniences, the single stock wiper blades to the OVRMs here, which does not have any adjustment. Forget electronic, it does not even have a manual one. So you have to stick your hand out to adjust the mirror. The power switches for the windows. This one on the driver's side has only single switch, which means that you have to lean over to roll down the window on the passenger side. The glove box, well, there is no glove box. There is only a cubby hole without a cover. Don't know where you can keep your valuables, including your car papers. All these things do not add up to make this Datsun Go a really comfortable car and easy to live with. I think this cost cutting in this sense is detrimental to a car which is positioned as a brand builder. Obviously, to save on the cost, what the Go gets for an audio system is a dock, which can stream music from smartphones and even download the data from the mobile and acts as a GPS. But what you don't get is an FM radio or even a CD or an MP3 player. Considering that most audio systems can anyway stream music from the phone, this contraption doesn't really add any great value or serve as a substitute for a radio. But the Go also comes with class-leading features like Follow Me lamps, which can be preset for the timing of switching off, which means that if you get off the car in the dark, you can use the headlamps to light your way, and then it automatically switches off. The wiper too comes with an intelligent wiping system, which means that the wiper senses the speed of the vehicle and sets the speed. Little things these may be, but they add tremendously to the ownership experience. Ergonomically also, this Datsun Go has a rather unusual setup. The gear lever is mounted here on the center console, with which I have no problems. In fact, it makes it quite easy to reach, and the shifting is nice and smooth and precise. But where the problem starts is here. The seat here has a wide strip. I do not know what this is for. Instead of the place, they have made the seat wider. Okay, fine. But then, when you move the seat up and you start shifting the gears, this is what happens. Your elbow starts hitting the seat. And that's not a very nice feeling. Then there is this handbrake lever which is positioned here. The old school pull and lock type, which I quite like, reminds me of the old cars. But the fact is that when you unlock the lever and you start driving, and if you're a short driver, you pull the seat up front, then it starts fouling against your knee. And if you're a tall driver, your legs would again come here, and then again it would start knocking against the lever. It seems that I am the only right-sized driver to avoid hitting this lever here. The instrumentation too here is very basic. It has a large analog speedometer which is nice and easy to read, but along with that it also has a digital meter which gives you the RPM and information like distance to empty. But the problem with it is that even a young man like me needs glasses to read it because the lettering is very, very small. The rear seems to have enough space, there is plenty of headroom, and if the driver here isn't too tall and this seat isn't pushed back all the way, then there is adequate knee room. And as for the headroom, it's good enough for the tall boys. And the seat here is nice and firm, but what can definitely do with an improvement is the cushioning here for the backrest. The rear seat comfort and the boot space is what is very, very relevant for any buyer in this compact segment. So I'm going to pop open this boot and see what it's like. But then there is something very strange here. You cannot open the boot from outside. There's a remote button there, and that's the only way to open it. There is no manual override for the remote. Why that should be so, I don't really understand. But once you open the boot, you are delighted to find plenty of space here. In fact, 265 liters of boot space, which is enough for a little compact like this. And if I walk from the rear of the car to the boot, this is what I find to be the USP of this Datsun Go. Another area where the Go lacks is in terms of safety. It does not offer any airbags or ABS even as an option in any of the variants, and that's surprising for a car which is the latest entry into the segment, as some of the competing and existing cars do so at an added cost. As an entry-level car and a brand builder for brand Datsun, this Go might not work because this car is really a very, very basic car which is short on both features as well as the build quality. As a product, the Go just might make it, provided Datsun puts a very aggressive price tag on it. But don't forget, the competition is very, very intense in the segment between 2.5 lakhs to 4 lakhs. So with no clear-cut USPs as a product, the only edge that might make the Datsun Go really go is an aggressive price tag. You can expect the Datsun Go to go on sale sometimes around the middle of March. And Datsun, as a part of the Renault-Nissan alliance, will use Nissan's existing sales network to sell the car across India.